Cloud. I love the cloud. I love the cloud. I don't know what that means, but I love the cloud. Whoo! You know what? You know what I'm breaking out right now? The belt. Okay. This is my most prized possession that I have in my life. Is this right here. Woo! Uh-oh. We've lost Austin. He was there, and now he's gone. He'll be back. Hashtag live if you're watching live. Hashtag replay if you're on replay. I am Mr. Buff Gandhi, and that screen right there, which is frozen, should be Shuckles, Austin Shuck, but it is not. And okay, here we are. So Austin will probably dial back in at some point, but we're here for the Buff and Shuck episode 4,421. I have no idea how many of these we've done. Doesn't really matter. But we are here to not only educate, but also inform. So what I wanted to do today is because we got a lot of great feedback from the previous episode that we had last week. And that was about essentially you are what you eat. And we were talking about mitochondria and ATP, kind of really breaking things down to a cellular level so that, you know, in your normal day speech, you could understand what all this exercise physiology means. And you can kind of see the perspective of when you eat certain foods, how it really can affect you, not instantaneously, but over the course of your entire lifetime. So we got a lot of great feedback on that episode. So if you haven't seen that and you want to, you can go back on this page to last Friday, and it'll be sitting right there on my profile. So today we wanted to cover, if he ever comes back, is wanted to talk about, I guess, it's not necessarily imposter syndrome, because but imposter syndrome basically is like, you know, you take a job, i.e. a personal trainer who, you know, goes through school and gets a certification and gets the education, but yet still doesn't believe that they are capable enough to work with clients, but yet does so anyway. And that really becomes that imposter syndrome. But this is more from the standpoint of asking yourself, like, what thought really pops up in your mind the most? And I've posted this before on my page, and you get anywhere between, oh, he's back. You get in, I'm just flying solo, man.
Dude, I don't know what just happened.
It's okay. It's all good. I mean, I did a little intro. You know, we're just winging it anyway, so what's it matter?
What's up, Facebook world?
Literally, I go to pull the belt out, and then you just freeze on me, and I'm like, where did it go?
Literally, I was like, I saw your face, and you're like, give me 1 second, and then it was just like,
you're in Eastern, but you are in Eastern Kentucky, so
even with 3 bars of high-speed internet, that's really just dial-up in every other place in America.
Mm-hmm. And then for those that are watching that have no idea about Eastern Kentucky, you're in the mountains, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, it's an interesting place. It's a very impoverished place, and on top of that, they just went through a flood. So this is a great segue. We'll go ahead and put what I was saying before on the back burner because we'll come back to it. But my dad is actually in Paintsville, Kentucky, where Austin is right now, which is in Eastern Kentucky. They went through a flood. I think it was last week, right?
Yeah.
And it basically caused, a disaster. And so my dad is down there with some other guys helping with some flood relief. But on that topic alone, Austin, who is always doing philanthropy work, you're doing a concert. When's the concert?
It is going to be March 27th on the street front in front of Moorhead, or in front of Saltstone in Moorhead, Kentucky. And the goal is to raise $20,000. So we are actually in partnership with 3 different breweries on this right now. We're working towards some more sponsorships and just opportunities to be able to raise money. But right now, on Monday, the 22nd at Mirror Twin Brewery. For every Mirror Monday beer that they sell, which is like a special release beer they do every Monday, $1 will go towards this concerts relief fund. And then also every Tuesday through Thursday of the rest of the month at Blue Stallion Brewing Company in Lexington, for every Dunkel they sell, they will be donating 50 cents to the fund. So that's two really cool opportunities to donate in Eastern Kentucky while being in Lexington, drinking local craft beer and helping people that you care about. Literally sounds awesome to me. And then Saturday of the 27th, we're going to be trying to do an all-day concert, 12 to 12. It will be outside, so if you're worried about Corona, we're going to have masks and we're going to have hand sanitizer if you'd like to wear that. Obviously, being outside, people will be socially distanced and stuff like that. And we're going to have, right now, it's Lindsey Elam. We have Jared Stratton, Clark Sexton, Clark Kissick, and Brett Horton. There's two other people that are pretty big. If we can get them, it would be a game changer. Like, for sure, we would be able to raise $20,000 if we got them. And then also we'll just be taking money through the Venmo account. And also at the breweries, we're going to be in connection with, for if you're in Lexington, we're going to have supply drop locations. So if you don't want to donate money, we'll take water, we'll take cleaning supplies. They're really needing stuff like mops and brooms and stuff to just clean, because obviously if your whole house goes underwater, you're gonna have to clean some stuff up. So
let me because this is on my private Facebook page and there's people from all over the world that I'm friends with. So let's say somebody catches this. They're not in Kentucky, they're somewhere else. How could somebody donate to this cause?
Right now, it would be Austin-Shuck on Venmo. But we are trying to put together a Venmo account and also a web page for this thing. So it literally just happened. It's kind of like when we did the philanthropy event with the Rocking Around the Mountain Christmas project. I just saw that people were wanting to engage and help, and I was like, music is a great way to connect people, and craft beer. And I was like, Morehead's in Eastern Kentucky. A lot of people that I know that I've met in my journey have been some way connected there. So I was like, it's kind of like right in the middle of all of Eastern Kentucky. So I was just like, this kind of seems like the place for us to do this. And so, like I said, you can donate that to my Venmo. All of the proceeds will be going to flood relief. I think we're going to be donating it to, if I'm not mistaken, App Rises. They actually just raised $1.1 million with their telethon for the event. So that's pretty insane. So if we could get those two other people that I was talking about group wise for the music, it'll probably be one of the bigger events in Kentucky as far as for music for the year. So it's pretty exciting to be able to be the ambassador to that issue and to help people at the same time.
For sure. Right on, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's cool. You inspire me, bro. I know you hate the word inspiration, but it is actually, you inspire me to do that kind of stuff. So I appreciate it.
I can't really hate it too much since it's like literally tattooed on me somewhere in here. Okay. Well, again, if you want to donate to this, why don't you, after this is over, why don't you in the comment section, put your Venmo on there. You can Venmo him directly. And yeah, I mean, listen.
And if you're single, you can call me directly or direct message me. Unless you're a guy. I like girls.
Hey, truth is the truth, right? Yeah, if you want to do that, you can obviously do that as well. But anyway,
I'm joking, but for real.
But for real. We like to have fun on here, and if you're offended, I'm offended that you're offended. I'm just saying. Anyway.
We just like that fun.
Okay. Obviously, man, that's a great cause. I mean, first of all, Eastern Kentucky is an impoverished place. There's a lot of poverty there. When you think of poverty, like this is the deal. Like it's a very poor place. So when a natural disaster happens in an already impoverished place, they need stuff. Okay.
Yes.
This is life or death. So if you're thinking about giving to this cause, please do.
This isn't like Coach Cal's house got flooded and he can afford to go get like anything
No.
he needs. This is like the average household income in my county, which is like not even the worst one, is $15,000 for a whole family. And it's like, if your house just got flooded and you only had $15,000 anyway a year, like literally when they get their stimulus check, it's essentially like a pretty big chunk of their income. Like when they get that.
That's 10% of. I mean, $1,400 is
Yep.
almost 10% of their monthly or their yearly income.
Exactly. So
think about that.
Yeah. So if you're living pretty far above that, you have a pretty good life. So I'm trying to help those people. I'm not saying I'm far above that, but it's just like, I've been blessed enough that I can help people. So I take it as a call to arms to always be there for others because others have been there for me. So just trying to pay it forward.
Pay it forward. It's good energy. Okay. So now we're going to transition. I was kind of. We'll come back to this. We'll redo this at the end just in case people catch it at the end because I want to make sure people get this. But we're going to talk about what I was saying in midstream when you came back was about what thought pops up in your mind the most. Because if you're self-aware enough to know, the thoughts that you have every day are the ones that hold you back. Because anytime anything gets uncomfortable, you feel that sensation go over you and you're thinking in your mind, I'm not good enough, or I suck, or, you feel something come over you. And so when I asked this question, posed this question on my Facebook page, I got a lot of different answers about, and really it all comes down to just one thing, and that is not feeling enough for whatever it may be. And I'm no stranger to this thought process. I don't think any human being is a stranger to thinking that they're not enough. But I was on Mike Gardner's mom's podcast yesterday, and she asked me a fantastic question about, like, Josh, fitness just isn't about like working out. It's literally about your mind. Like, how important is your mind and your thoughts to getting in shape? And I was like, it's everything. It's paramount. What you think is just as important as how you work your body out. So
it could be argued that more important.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is more important because your mind is going to move your body versus your body is going to move your mind. So I want to kind of to dive a little bit deeper into and pose the question to you, get your thought on it, and then we can kind of go back and forth on why do you feel like people feel like they're not enough?
So it is actually a survival mechanism that we were given when we were more tribal, more primitive. It is a way to protect ourselves from being eaten by the lion in the bush. Reticular activation, epigenetics, all that stuff on who we are as a person has been kind of predetermined for us, but it's up to us to realize that those can be rewired. Just like anything, you can reverse engineer something to work for you and your advantage. So something I personally do is, when fear pops up, I'm like, I'm not good enough for this, or why should I get to do this, or why am I the person that's leading a concert and philanthropy event in Eastern Kentucky? And it's like, I'm not a musician and I'm not like an artist. I just saw a thing and was like, this is something that's needed. And what I did is, instead of me being like, oh, I'm too scared to do this, I said, well, use my fear for me instead of against me. What can I say to rewire this question or reword it? And I start saying things like, well, what happens if I don't do this? Like, who's not going to get help if we don't bring awareness to this issue? Or what if I don't do this and someone doesn't like get the help they need? What if by me doing this, it not only helps people, but also helps to get some of my favorite musicians to be more popular and to be able to have even more reach than they already have, to be more influential than what they're able to do? And it's like, when you start to really, it's not the problem that you ask yourself questions. It's just the question you're asking yourself. Your brain is going to automatically be like, hey, should we do this? Like, are you going to die? Is there a lion in this bush and it's going to eat me? And it's up to you to know, all right, like it's 2021. I live in a house, I drive a car, I have food in my stomach. Like I'm literally looking at this cell phone thing right now, or your computer, whatever you're watching this on. And odds are, if you have that, probably pretty likely you're going to survive the day, unless it's like a health reason. Like straight up, like statistically, we're in the best position ever to be healthy. We're in the best position ever to be educated. We're in the best position ever to do whatever we want to do. So because of that, it is up to you as a person to say, hey, this is not what I'm going to accept as the default. I'm going to use this programming that I certainly do have and use it to work in my favor.
So I agree with, I definitely agree with the tribal instinct, but I want to maybe pose not a different version of this, but kind of prong it off a little bit. So think about this. Does an infant does an infant think in their mind about, am I doing something correct, or am
Probably
I?
not.
No, it doesn't. So therefore, in order to have a concept of whether you are doing something correct or not correct, or right or wrong, it takes conditioning, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, at like 2 or 3 years old, what are we taught? Like, don't cross the road without looking both ways, right? So automatically we've been put, rightfully so, we've been put this concept in our mind that there potentially could be something happen to you. And if you don't do it this way, it's wrong and you could die. So we become programmed to have this deep coded, self-conscious, you know, thing in our mind. When we're in school, there's a right way to do something, there's a wrong way to do something. Society teaches us there's a right way to do something and there's a wrong way to do something. And sometimes in society, those things can flip-flop and be the other way, which causes frustration in people. But I think we're conditioned to have this evaluation of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I'll use myself as an example. And I've talked about this at length, about my concept of my body has been whack, like the majority of my life. And, I stemmed it all the way back to a comment from a family member about, the way I looked. And so that stuck with me, right? And so therefore my internal then become my external. So I would then now change my behavior based upon what I felt internally. Mm-hmm. And then I got in a relationship with somebody that compared my body towards somebody else's. So then therefore that reinforced what I already thought about myself, right? Mm-hmm. So now all of a sudden I have this thing about, well, I'm not enough if I don't look like X. Well, what the hell is X? Because I don't even know what X is, because I've conjured this shit up in my mind about what X is, and my perception is different. So I guess looking at it from the standpoint of asking yourself the question, when you get to like what you were saying, like, why am I the guy that's putting on the philanthropy event to help people in Eastern Kentucky? Why is it not somebody else? I'm not a musician. I'm not a music promoter. I'm not this, I'm not that, right? I'm not good enough. Is to really be able to ask yourself the question is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Is it true that you're not enough? And am I good enough to play in the NBA? No. So that's true. Okay.
But you did play on Rep Arena one day.
I did. But do I have the desire to play in the NBA? No. I'm almost 40 years old. No, I have no desire to play in the NBA. Okay. But am I good enough, as if I'm Austin Shuck? Am I good enough to put on this philanthropy event? Absolutely. Okay. So really being able to, what you said, rewire or reprogram. I hate that people believe they have a problem. Okay. So there's a guy named Peter Crone, And if you see this right here, I mean, all this gibberish that's on this piece of paper and over here too, is I've been taking copious amounts of notes on this dude. That when he talks, he's talking about the conscious and the subconscious mind. And he's like, people that I coach, I try to get them out of the fact that they have problems, because you don't really have a problem. There's nothing you're doing that's wrong by any judgment, because there should be no judgment. There should be no judgment of yourself. There should be no judgment of other people. And we become addicted to these problems. It's like, well, I'm 50 pounds overweight. That's my problem. Well, the problem could be a lot seated than that. But the fact that you even conceptualize that you have a problem is a problem all in itself. So, I kind of want to take the step further, is like when I'm coaching people, to get them away from labeling themselves as I'm depressed versus saying I have depression.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see the differences in the wording?
There's a major difference.
So let's take someone that is an alcoholic, okay? A recovered alcoholic. Instead of saying I'm an alcoholic, say I have struggled with alcohol. There's a difference between those two statements. And the difference is this: when I say I am depressed versus I have depression, it's something is now taken over me. When I
you
say
identified as depression.
Right. Just like people identify themselves as their job. I am a lawyer. I am a doctor. I am a trainer. I am a this. I am a that. But are you really? No. You practice as a doctor. You practice as a lawyer. You perform as a trainer. But that's not who you are. It's the words we use are the ones that really matter. And you can tell a lot about a person by the way that they speak. And I just think it's interesting that the concept of not being enough continuously pops up in my mind, in your mind, in all 8 billion people on this planet's mind. And it really holds us back from doing the things that we want to do. Why should I lose? Why am I capable to lose 50 pounds? Why am I capable to start my own business? Why am I capable to have a healthy relationship with myself and thus have a healthy relationship with others? Because I'm not good enough. Bull fucking shit.
Yep.
So, if you're listening to this out there, I'm not a personal trainer. I'm not a fitness coach. There, I said it. I help people, or I coach people to be themselves. I think at the end of the day, I think that's what I specialize in. And I think a lot of it takes from just stripping all of the shit that we identify ourselves with. I am fat. I am an alcoholic. I am a doctor. I am a mother. I am a father. I am this. I am that. No, you may do those things. Those may be part of your life, but those are not you. You are you, and that's it. And that should be good enough always to the end of time.
Mm-hmm. And some people would even say that you should even disconnect from your name, that even that is like, it's like, but did you choose that name? Did you actually name yourself? It's like, nope. And that's what
you didn't choose. You didn't choose your name. You didn't choose your skin color. You didn't choose how big your head is. You didn't choose your shoe size. You didn't choose how big your arms are. You didn't choose any of that.
But you can decide the things that you do with that meat bag that you got called a body.
Right. And so if you're listening to this, I'd like for you to maybe practice some self-awareness and like what thoughts really pop up in your mind every day. Because we get 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and 80% of those are negative, and 95% of those are unconscious because we've thought them so many times they've just become the background, the screensaver on our desktop. And those are really the things that prevent people from being who they are. You are capable of anything you set your mind to. Period. End of story.
Mm-hmm.
And your brain is designed to predict and protect. Predict and protect. Doesn't always tell you the truth.
That's why people are more comfortable with doing the same thing over and over and over as opposed to trying something new. Because, like I said earlier, that's that survival mechanism being like, oh, I've been doing this, and guess what? I'm still alive, so it must be working. But it's like, but have you tried this other option? I was listening to this video the other day, and it was about framing. And this is how important framing is. And this dude was like, what if someone walked up to you and had a gun and held it to your head? And the guy goes, I would pull out my own gun. And he was like, that wasn't the question. He was like, but you didn't say there was a rule to this. Like, you just asked me what would happen. And he was like, what if I said, or I would take that gun? Or, and he's like, once you reframe the question to use it in your advantage, it's going to change your life. Like, literally just being like, well, I don't accept that that's the reality that I must be. And obviously it did work and it has been working, but is there a better option? And you don't know until you try it. And I can certainly tell you myself that I built a shit ton of confidence just off trying new things. Like, it will literally forge you and it will sharpen that's like, you're going to sharpen yourself by being in more serious, high intense opportunities. And then once you defeat those, you're like, like that wasn't so bad. Maybe I should be doing this more often, as opposed to being like, I've been doing this and it's been working and I guess I'm happy. And it's like, if you have to say you guess, it's like, you're like living your life based off of like chance instead of you being like, nope, here are the options that I could possibly have by me thinking about it and me going after it and me pursuing it, and not just being like, here's your menu. You must eat this one item that's on the menu. It's like, no, actually, I got like 20 different menu items I could eat.
Would you argue that taking action, not waiting till the perfect day or when you're ready, because those things just don't exist, because who's really ready to do things, right? Would you argue that action is the most important thing when someone feels stuck?
Yeah, I would like 100% say that if you are in a position where you think that you are stuck, it's because you are literally not trying to do other things. And if you are stuck, it is because you haven't grown, you haven't adapted. And we know that in order to adapt, you gotta move, you gotta do something. And you can control the evolution of your life by just being like, I'm gonna change this action. And people, we're not fucking trees. We can go anywhere we want to. Like, you don't have to be stuck where you're at. Like, you literally are not rooted to this place. You can go anywhere you want to go, but it's your choice. You got to do it. And inaction is the death of progress. If you are not moving into a new, better version of yourself daily, you'll get stuck. That's just how it works. Like, if you literally find yourself where you're in a position where you're like, I am literally stuck right now, it's because you're not taking action. And if you are taking action, it's not the action you need to be taking. So you need to change that.
So in this the speech that I was listening to by Peter Crone, I said speech, it's not a speech, it was a podcast. He mentioned what you just said, and he's like, you will always, if you don't take action and you don't move, okay, I'm paraphrasing, you are always going, and you don't actually settle in on the things that are truly bothering you, okay, at your subconscious mind, in your soul, your heart. You are always going to be the subpar best version of yourself, right? So you put a ceiling on yourself. So that to me said this: take all your religious beliefs off the table for a second, okay? The purpose of our lives is to find ourselves. So I'll say it again, right? The purpose of our lives, ours, mine, yours, everyone else's, is to find ourselves, our true self. And how much of our life do we spend running from ourselves?
Why are we watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians and watching the royal wedding? And I'm like, man, I got some cool shit I'm trying to work on for me right now. Like, that's way more entertaining than the royal wedding.
There's
whatever.
There's nothing wrong with doing something that doesn't require your mind to focus as hard as some of the things that you and I do every day. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not hating on anybody that watches TV, by the way. I'm just saying, like,
He's
when that's
using
all
it
you
as
think about.
he's using it as an example of saying entertainment, drugs, sex, working out, eating, input, anything that's done externally can be a way of hiding from ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many people do you know cannot sit on the couch in silence with themselves for an hour?
I know a lot of people like that. I talk about the sensory deprivation chamber I've gotten in, and people are like, dude, you did that for 90 minutes by yourself with like no music, no lights. And I was like, it was awesome. Like, I kicked my ass. And they're like, that sounds like the worst thing ever. That sounds like torture to me. And I'm like, sounds like you need to get in one.
Exactly. And how much do you learn about yourself when you are by yourself?
Dude, I had a panic attack 10 minutes in. Like, I've never had a panic attack. And I was literally sitting there and I was like, oh my God. Look. And then after like 10 minutes, it went away and I was like, it felt euphoric. Literally, I was like, holy shit, I needed to like let go of that. I literally walked out of that the first time I ever did that and was like, how is this not like recommended for human life? Like I don't know if you've ever done one, but literally when I got out of it, I was like, dude, it's like forced meditation for 90 minutes. And your brain just eventually it'll go to where it like needs to go, but it's just like you just can't fight it. You just need to relax.
And we're so used to being stimulated, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're stimulated with this. We're stimulated with, go ahead.
My escape was video games for so long. Like I would just be like, I've had a tough day. It's time to video game. And it's like, dude, I haven't even played video games in 3 years, man. And that's like, well, I wonder if me losing all this weight correlated with me stopping playing video games too. Cause it's like, I was literally losing myself in that. And I have friends, I've had ex-girlfriends that literally are like, oh, all during Corona, all I did was play my Wii or my Switch or my Xbox. And I'm like, so you're probably not mentally very like in a good place right now because you've been escaping reality for the last year.
That also is another good point is we have a difficult time as humans adapting to anything. It's like when this whole Corona thing comes off, you kind of had two camps of people. You had the people that, well, this is a great time to just do whatever the hell I want to do. Then you kind of had these people over here that used it as kind of like a springboard. Okay, well, this is going to get me to slow down because I think everyone should slow down and get me to reset and then be able to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe there was that third camp who was in like this fight of, well, this is bullshit, this whole thing, which, I thought it was bullshit. Now this is for your health. Now this is for your health and my health. Hey, can we use our brains to start asking some questions here on, these people are telling us what to do here. Like, we have free will. So, hey, ask questions, not saying that they're wrong.
Elected public officials are telling us what to do.
Right. Who've never held a job, by the way. Until you've worked for $6 an hour at Goody's Family Clothing, where you almost had a drunk guy punch you in the face and you missed and broke your hand, then you can come talk to me about things. Okay. Until you've ran a P&L statement, okay, and you've actually had to be aware of how much money you're making, okay, then you can come talk to me about things. So that's just my tidbit, closey.
Dude, I think she might actually be about to get in trouble for finally. Not to talk about politics, but I think that
I don't know what she did.
I hope her and Mitch McConnell go down. Both of them. They're both corrupt. This snake needs its head cut off. Listen, I know that you will like this. I saw the best bumper sticker I've ever seen in Key West, and it said, "Re-elect no one." No one. And I was like, that's genius. I was like, it sounds so stupid, but like literally the whole reason we have so much corruption is because these dudes and ladies can just keep sucking the tit of America. Literally is what it is. They're like, all right, they're like rich welfare is literally what a politician is. It's like, I don't really do anything, but I get money somehow. Not saying if you're on welfare, you're not doing anything. Some people abuse it, though. In my area in particular, you will see people abuse the crap out of it. Just like you can see good politicians, you'll see bad politicians. You'll see people who deserve welfare, and you'll see people who don't.
I kind of take the stance of that if you're going to offer something to someone, you're going to have people do it the right way, and you're going to have people do it the wrong way.
Exactly.
I really can't blame either one of those people because the ones that voted the shit in are the ones who caused the problem. So, our elected officials, more people didn't vote than voted.
A lot more.
So who really won that thing? Really. So this isn't political thing. Again, this is more about asking questions, and you can get behind your favorite politician you would like. Okay, that's fine with me. You are freedom to your choice. But I think we should be asking questions of our elected officials more, and we should be demanding more from them because, in my experience, a lot of them aren't doing shit.
Like none of them.
There's got to be a few of them that's doing something, but.
I mean, I guess you're right. We're, the country hasn't fully fallen apart yet, but
not yet. Maybe on that way. But I say all that to say this, okay? We got no control over that. So you guys that are on Facebook that are in this camp over here that are yelling at this guy's over here, and you guys are spending all your social media time yelling at each other, you're wasting your time in your life because no opinions are ever changed based on social media. None, zero, not one ever has happened in time.
It's usually an echo chamber.
It is. And all you're doing is using your ego to spout off stuff to people that you want to belittle. And you know what? I've wanted to, but I've had to check myself so that I don't. So,
the best way to have a good democracy is participate in ways other than just voting. That's all you gotta say.
Well, you know what?
Philanthropy work, do community work.
You're doing it.
I know.
You're doing it. So,
just trying to be the change that I would like to see.
JFK. How many politicians? That's Mahatma Gandhi, by the way.
Oh shit.
It's okay.
Wait, he said that though. JFK said that, didn't he?
He may have said it. I don't know if he did or not.
Oh, well, the direct person to quote might have been Gandhi, but
it's okay. Wasn't Buff Gandhi, but it was Mahatma Gandhi. I forget what I was going to say, but you never know
how many politicians have done something.
Yeah, how many politicians have walked for 24 hours? How many politicians have put on a concert in Eastern Kentucky? How many politicians? No, they don't.
They don't. They sit in their ivory tower and they're like, problem. Oh, run. Actually, they usually say run from the problem.
Yeah, so they can create other ones so that we can put in more philanthropy work to then solve that problem. I'd love to know. I'd love to know what you're doing about human trafficking, by the way, Mr. Politicians, Mr. and Mrs. Politicians. What are you doing about that? I'd like to know. I would like to know.
There are probably politicians who got rich off the flood in Eastern Kentucky, truth be told.
This video is definitely getting pulled.
I mean, dude, there's a guy, the Lundergan Grimes guy. He's like the most shady guy in America. I hope he hears
it. All right. We're gonna.
No, this guy literally charged like hundreds of thousands of dollars for porta potties in Morgan County after the tornado, and I'm like, what? Is that not like price gouging illegal? But nope, the government just like open check. You're good to go.
I want to bring him back.
Yeah.
If I can bring one person back, okay. We're bringing him back.
The guy knew what he was talking about. He was so talented. It's insane, honestly.
Yeah.
He was like a good actor. He was a good poet. He was a good humanitarian.
He had fire inside of him. If he would have lived 10 years longer, he would have been the president of the United States, period, in the story.
That is crazy to think about, but you might be right.
I mean, he died at 25 years old. He's been dead for 25 years. He's only 10 years older than I am, or would have been.
He died at 25 and made the impact that he made. Think about that.
From 21 years old when he released his first album till 25 at death. He is the most popular hip hop artist of all time in a 4-year span. And it's not just about the popularity, it's about the fact that his lyrics hold up true today.
Yep.
In so many different ways. And I think that if you just strip out all of the, immaturity that he had, who wouldn't have it at that age?
Yeah.
And particularly the things that he went through. Who wouldn't have some of the things that he talked about, given what he saw? If you just strip out all of that and you just view it in the context of what it's viewed at, he literally is a genius. So I don't know how we've talked about everything. We've talked about everything. We've talked about everything on this today.
Tupac, corrupt politicians.
Hey, he said it best. I mean, it's tattooed on my arm here for Me Against the World. It says politicians are hypocrites.
Yes. All of them.
With all this extra stress. The question I wonder is, after death, I feel my last breath. When will I finally get to rest from this oppression? They punishing people who's asking questions, and those that possess, still from the ones without possessions, the message that I stress. That's tattooed on my arm.
That's some deep shit too.
Okay. All right.
If I ever had a tattoo, it has to be something like that. It's not going to be like Billy Bob on the back of my back or something.
How about the Gold's Gym Man?
I didn't even know that you had that one.
Hey, when I got certified as a trainer, I went and I got that, because that, at the time that I was 21 years old, it symbolized fitness to me. So, okay. All right. So here's what I want to do. I want to wrap this up. I want you to tell people where they can donate to your cause.
So Austin-Shuck, AUSTIN-Shuck. That's my Venmo. We are also going to be taking any supplies as far as they don't need clothes. They need water. They need MREs. They need cleaning supplies. Cleaning supplies, number one. Literally at the beginning of Corona, this would have been even worse, man. Can you imagine that? When cleaning supplies were so hard to find, they would just be like, oh, sorry, Breathitt County, you're going to have to get the creek water that just, but anyway, so you can donate to Austin-Shuck, and also on the 22nd at Mirror Twin Brewery, they will be releasing a fruited Pilsner beer that will be named after the concert. So it'll be Rocking Around the Mountain Appalachian Christmas, or Appalachian Flood Relief Concert. Sorry, I was still in Christmas mode.
It's okay.
And then, so that'll be, so for everyone that they sell, $1 will go towards the charity. Then also at Blue Stallion, the Dunkel, it's a malted German beer. It honestly tastes like grown up chocolate milk. So if you like grown up chocolate milks, definitely go check that out. So for 50 cents of each sale that they do Tuesday through Thursday of the remainder of this month, will be going to that. And we're also talking to a few other breweries. So this might just be essentially like a brewery scene thing that we can get going. And the goal is to raise $20,000. App Rises was able to raise the event that they did in Telethon through WKYT. They were able to raise $1.1 million. So I think we should easily be able to raise $20,000. If we really, really want to help people out, that will change the life of some people that are going through, there are literally thousands, thousands of households. So 10, 20,000 people right now are homeless in Eastern Kentucky, something crazy. So,
all right. So what's your Venmo again?
Austin-Shuck.
Okay. So put that in the comments section.
Yeah.
So if you want to donate to this cause, because again, I'm sure a lot of you guys are viewing here are not from Kentucky. And yeah, help these people out. I'm gonna send you some money, by the way.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
And then the big event, March 27th, Saturday. It should be all day long. We're trying to get 2 to 3 more musicians. If we do that, it should be pretty easy to have like a all day long kind of thing. So we're going to be having food trucks. It's going to be in Morehead, Kentucky. Should be starting around 12. And then it will be going all night long until they close at Saltstone. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you'll be doing social media from there.
For sure.
Of course. Why would we not? That's what we do. Okay. All
what
right.
are we again?
We're infotainers.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Hashtag value if you found value in this video. We went really long today because we got a lot to say. So we'll be back next Friday. He's the Shuckster. I'm the Buffster. Go ahead. Give him a woo.
Woo!
Woo! Everybody have a great day.